Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 548. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Carlos Romero,
Yo, 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 what's going on?
Brett Murdoch,
What up, party people?
Richard Bailey Jr.,
What's up, everybody?
and Brian Manjoma.
What up? What up?
All right, guys, you already know, back with another one. Got a couple people missing here. And I just remembered as I was doing the intro why Manny isn't here. Because he's at Metal Gear Con. So that's why, I know he said he was going to try to join us, but, maybe he went to go party. And I hope he did. He needs to mingle with people. Maybe he's hanging out with David Hayter right now. You never know, right?
Oh.
So, yeah, Manny's at Metal Gear Con in, was it, Ontario, California or some shit? Quebec, California. So basically a Canada city in California,
I wonder which one was first. I'm pretty sure it was a Canada one, but you
probably
never know.
You never know.
Never know.
So Chris is not on tonight because he is out celebrating his daughter's 5th birthday, man. Crazy. So shout out to Olivia turning 5. He showed me some videos of her at the arcade. She's playing games and shit. He raised a gamer. And Adam's probably doing another TV terminal because that's all he does now. I says, I don't have time for podcasts. I still remember that shit. Yeah, I gotta do at least episodes. The Walking Dead. Oh man. All right. So we didn't get too many questions tonight, so this might be a short show. So, don't blame us, blame yourselves. It's crazy. I'm like, I thought we would have had more questions, especially after Gamescom, but I guess nobody cared, about Gamescom. It is what it is, bruh. All right, let's get into it. Jolly Yellow Nerd. He goes, I know you guys have little faith in Marathon at this point. At any point, we didn't have any faith in it, to be honest. But were any of you expecting any news about it at Gamescom? I didn't even think about the game, bro. I really didn't. But I'm also not surprised that we didn't get news just because of the fact that they're basically just restarting the whole fucking game. They're pretty much having, at least artistically, restart from scratch after the whole, debacle of them stealing another artist's style and shit. So I'm not surprised. But I if you didn't ask this question, dude, it wouldn't have even occurred to me. That's how little brain power I'm giving to Marathon. Legit do not give a fuck about this game, I mean, maybe somebody else on the panel here will feel different, but I just don't give a fuck. I really don't. But yeah, were any of you guys surprised it wasn't a Gamescom? Go ahead.
I don't think. I think that shit's very deep down.
Yeah.
Deep down?
I got the joke. Yeah, again, I still maintain that the game's going to get canceled outright. That's my Tony conspiracy theory,
Well, the whole thing with Gamescom and Sony, it's like, did anyone even expect Sony to say anything at Gamescom? I mean, we did get something. It wasn't at Gamescom, but we did get an announcement. Those price hikes.
The price hikes, yeah.
We got more price hikes than games now. So. Yeah, I didn't expect Sony to announce anything, so obviously Marathon was at the bottom of that list. Yeah, I don't know why they would, because do they even have a track record of announcing things at Gamescom? I don't remember.
Who, Bungie?
Usually, Sony.
So I think for a lot of years they've been skipping Gamescom. But yeah, like Xbox is usually the one that makes big showings at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the same fucking sorry.
Wait, go ahead, Brett. Who Xbox is doing the same what now?
They keep showing up and showing the same goddamn games.
Uh-oh. Someone sounded like a disgruntled Xbox fan.
No. I mean, I'm still enjoying it. It's just like it's tough to pick out from the noise. Like their marketing team needs to learn when to reveal something and stop revealing shit 4 times, right? quit drip feeding me information. Just sit on it. Make a big deal. Like you can't generate a hype train, right? You can't do it. And the best thing that you can do is just shut your goddamn mouth, and then let us know beforehand. Hope a hype train builds out, and then actually fucking deliver. Because I think everybody is just kind of at the point of like, yeah, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. And like some good games have come out, but not enough to like really counteract the whole reputation that they built for themselves. So like they're still in the doghouse. So they can announce and try and make all these games look super great, but like half of them fucking suck. So the other half sometimes are not bad, pretty good, but like I'm so disappointed by Valve, and I'm not looking forward to the Outer Worlds. But who knows? Who knows? But I think we're at this weird place where like Sony's just not putting out anything, and anything Microsoft puts out, like, do you trust it? Do you care?
Xbox tax.
Yep.
I mean, you're right, because the biggest Xbox thing we got from the show was hardware, the ROG Xbox Ally. And obviously, we don't know the official price, but if, the price that we're hearing is true, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So, yeah, I don't know. Xbox is in a weird spot. We also have a related question about that later on, but we'll get to that when we get to that, But yeah, Marathon, again, I think I can speak for everybody on this panel. We don't care.
Yeah, it's.
I go further. I anti-care.
Damn. Wait, is it beyond apathy?
Do you care?
No, it is complete and utter. Yeah, no, it's beyond apathy. Actually, it is beyond apathy. I think I actively hate Marathon.
Damn. Okay. We need to hear this one.
I mean, it's just, look, you're trying to. It is everything that is wrong with gaming. It is revitalizing a long dead franchise in a way that is familiar to none of the 9 fans that are left. Right? It is a
So true.
A microtransaction riddled bullshit nostalgia grab that was made with stolen assets in a in a shady company by rushed developers. Like, if I could put all the pieces of wrong together, you'd get fucking Marathon.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's right. And again, you said nostalgia for 9 dudes. Like, no one gives a fuck about it. Manny's the only person if it wasn't for Manny, I wouldn't have known this was an old franchise. Because he's always like, what about the fans? Like, Manny's just flexing because he's just like, I know Marathon. He never played that shit either. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole thing with the nostalgia thing, that was my biggest issue with Perfect Dark and Fable. It's like you literally got like 10 fans left that really, really, really have these franchises at their forefronts. And the same thing with Marathon. People moved on from that. You're gonna get the older crowd that's like, oh, I remember that game. Shout out to Chris with the member berries. And these companies aren't really made to deliver like that, and especially when it seems like the motivation of getting these games up is, just getting an established franchise, or not even a franchise, because I think Marathon was just one game, but an established IP, and hoping that
this shows how much we know about this fucking game. By the way, people. Anyway, good, continue, Carlos.
Yeah, they're getting a pre-built IP and hoping they get built-in sales from that, from a dearth of fan base where they're expecting to strike gold. That's just not going to happen.
Look at this, Carlos. It was actually a trilogy.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, but again, it goes to show how much we know about this. We are gaming nerds. We don't know anything about this fucking franchise.
Yeah. And I'm a Halo fan, so that was before even my time. The whole thing with these games like Marathon, most of the people that are working on this probably never even worked on the original ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
There usually should be a motivation to get these games made. And the ones that are made for Perfect Dark, for Marathon, for Fable, and all these games, pretty much is non-existent, other than the money factor.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. The 3 games, there were PC ports eventually, but they were all released on classic Mac OS. That was their premier platform. Wow. Double why I never heard of that shit. Yeah. The latest release, Marathon Infinity. Yeah, that's the third one. So it's Marathon, released in 94, Marathon 2, released in 95, and Marathon Infinity, 96. But again, unless you had a fucking Mac back then, and I'm assuming a reasonably powerful one, you didn't play this shit. You didn't play this shit. Anyway, whatever. Anybody else have any thoughts on Marathon? I'm going to take that as a no. So we'll move on here. Barry Burton says, Bubsy 4D will deliver. Damn right. Even that has more like nostalgia appeal than fucking Marathon, All right, let's move on here. Alpha Chuck, does the current market and prohibitive cost of development mean we are past the days of another console maker coming into the market? It's been like that for like 25 years now, 30 years probably. Like the heyday of like multiple companies trying their hand at consoles was in the 90s. But after the dust settled, we mainly just had 2 main consoles be dominant. Then we had that, one weird era, which was last gen, where we had 3 viable ones. But now we're kind of settling back to 2 because historically, once, we had the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Then after that, we had the PlayStation 1 and the N64. I'm talking about as the dominant ones of their respective generations. Then after that, we had the PS2 and I guess the GameCube, because the Xbox wasn't really doing that well. Then after that, we had 3. Yeah. That's when we started the 3 generation. We had the Xbox 360, the Wii, actually should be the Wii, the Xbox 360, and PS3 in order of like which one was the dominant one. So yeah, for the past 3 generations, we had 3 viable ones. But now this generation, let's just be honest, we really have 2, PlayStation and Nintendo, especially fucking Nintendo. To answer, that's just a long way to say no, it's not going to happen. Things are just too entrenched. And my question would be, what can this system do? Okay, I just realized the question I was going to ask is outdated. It's outdated already. I was going to say, what can the system do to differentiate itself in terms of exclusives? Exclusives are fucking done, right? So so like, except for Nintendo, obviously, but it's like, so what can this, a hypothetical 4th console bring to the market that could actually make it successful, like really successful, not just for a niche audience, not just, hey, let's make it more like a PC. Xbox is about to do that shit next gen, Anyway, what do you guys think?
There's 2 ways that I can see this ever coming to fruition. Because, for the most part, I do agree with you, Tony. It's been tried and tested.
Yeah,
it looks like Microsoft is going to bow from the console wars, and they're going to do their own thing with streaming, and everything is an Xbox, all that stuff, and it's going to be just the rule of 2. But there's 2 scenarios where I see this kind of changing. Number 1 is the power of money, whether it's an Amazon,
Apple,
or I don't know, Nvidia these days. One of them might just buy up a whole bunch of other things and then, create their own console, create their own exclusives. Most of it is via money. They're buying up all these studios. That type of scenario I could see. Is it
do you think
plot? Oh, God.
Do you think Tencent could pull it off?
Oh God.
God damn it, Brett. First of all, shout out to you, Brett, for thinking like I'd think. But yeah, but screw you, Brett, for taking my point. But that was going to be number 2.
I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You could run with the Tencent mango.
I was just thinking like the only company that I can think of would be Tencent because they're well poised. They have their hands in enough properties. They're fairly self-sufficient. Um, they would do really well in China, and China is a huge market all by itself. Like it
Hmm.
wouldn't even need to have to be technically an international machine, but just another player on the playing field would make it an international machine. So I other than Tencent, I don't see how anybody you're all exactly right. Like it's past the time. You need the IPs, you need the money, you need the connections. Um, maybe Steam, but Steam doesn't have any exclusives, but just access to Steam. But that's a fucking Steam box. We've been talking about that for a while, so I don't think that would really count.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
the whole thing.
No, I was going to say, like, I'm glad you guys brought up the, the whole like you would need a lot of money in order to make it work because I'm coming at it from, and I'm going to assume you guys are going to agree with my next point. I don't think a new startup company can do it. Like, I don't think so.
No.
Out of nowhere. But yeah, so it would need to be someone that's not only entrenched but has a lot of fucking money. And the Tencent angle is very, very interesting because they would need to be successful in America. They could just blow up in China. You got 1% of those motherfuckers, you're good. You know,
Yeah,
um,
Yeah.
that is a huge market.
yeah,
The other thing
huge.
I want to think about though, like, is if Steam could do it, um, like if they, I don't know why they don't just make a fucking Steam box because that would technically be the only console that played Steam games and
Well,
therefore a
Xbox
lot
is
of
about to do
PC
that,
games.
Brett. What do you think about that? Like, Xbox is reportedly going to do that next generation.
Honestly, a Fusion Xbox Steam box, I would be 100% into if I could like play my Steam library for my Xbox. I'd buy two. Like shit, that's that right now is kind of my biggest problem. Is like, and I have these two platforms that I play on. You're talking about combining them so I can get all my Steam stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that's exclusive just to PC that you can't play on console. Fucking period. Like, oh, you
Yeah,
want to play the Command and Conquer remaster on your Xbox? Well, tough shit. That's
Yeah.
so it would be the Steam box has a built-in library of exclusives, kind of, I guess is what I'm going for.
yeah.
Yeah. Going back real quick to the Tencent point, one of the important things is like Tony mentioned, they already have a lot of money. They have already a catalog. They're what the third biggest publisher in the world, and also like what was mentioned, China usually has certain influence within these companies, so they can make it sort of like these games to be sort of mandatory and stuff like that to the populace. So I think that would be really viable in that market, and then they can then just distribute it to the U.S. and other territories as well. So I feel like that's one way to that could happen.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys, Rich, Brian? You have any thoughts on a possible new contender for the consoles? Guess not.
I heard.
Yeah.
Well, I did talk to Rich earlier. He did say that he wants someone to come up with a new console and call it the Concorde, so you can see three different things called the Concorde that failed
Oh man. Oh, by the
playing the game in the
way,
console.
Carlos, funny you mentioned that because it has been exactly 1 year since Concord was released, and in 2 weeks it'll be 1 year when the game was canceled.
No.
Oh man, what a fucking
Oh jeez.
flop, man! Oh man,
Why?
look at this shit, bro. Anyway, move on here. All right, last two questions of the night, both from Eurocar, one of our favorite fans.
Loyal.
All right, first question here.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Although I think he might be a little full of himself right now. I read this first question. I'm like, bro, you thinking a little highly of yourself, but I respect it. He goes, I am
confidence is
yeah,
the thing.
yeah. So he goes, I am known for having a great memory, recalling memories from life's experiences and impressing friends with those events in precise detail. I'm telling you, sound a little, conceited there, but I respect the confidence. On the other hand, I have a hard time remembering things from older games that I've played, even from games that I would consider to be some of my favorites ever. For example, I've beat Mass Effect 2 multiple times, and it's perma-locked my top 5 games I've ever played, but I feel like I can't recall as much from that game as I would have liked. Does anyone else have the same thing? Or, as Brett would say, am I the only one?
Yep. So I can't remember what I had for breakfast half the days.
So you would agree with this, Brett? You don't remember the big moments from your favorite games?
I remember the big moments. I don't remember the moments that connect them.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a dog barking in my background, and there's a girlfriend coughing in the other room. I have nowhere I can go with that background noise.
Fair enough. I mean, I can take it because I got an answer. I am the opposite of this. I don't remember what the fuck I had for dinner last night, but I remember every single detail in fucking video games, man. Like, when Wait, I can't talk about Metal Gear now, right? Like the embargo. I was like, wait, am I still under embargo? No, I'm not. When I played the game, remember, it's been 14 years since I played, because remember, I played the HD edition that came out in 2011. It's been 14 years. I remember every single fucking thing, man. Every single thing. Mm-hmm. Like the reason I beat it so fast is because I knew all the optimal paths and shit. So yeah, no, I have great recall for it comes to, especially games that are like my favorite. Mass Effect 2, Carlos. I could see the entire game running in my head right now. But I have like horrible fucking. My short-term memory is shit. Like, you asked me to remember a number, like, yo, I better recite it to you within 5 minutes, so I'm gonna forget that shit, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm the opposite of this. I have a bad memory when it comes to like general shit, but when it comes to video game stuff, this is why I'm able to recite video game dates like nothing. Like, I remember all that shit, but but like other stuff, but it depends, right? It's like, like. Because what am I doing for most of my life? I'm doing the same shit every single day, so I'm going to forget stuff, But then I'll recall shit like, the Franco-Prussian War or something. I could tell you details about that. So it all depends on what you're interested in, But I have to question your car here. It's like, if you love this stuff, why are you forgetting it, Brett?
Well, I can relay the question to you.
Uh-oh.
I'll speak for myself. Ironically, a lot like Mr. Eurocar 9. Here's the thing. I don't know where all this stuff goes. Like, for example, let's talk about like something like Monster Hunter Worlds, right?
Yeah.
We played it a whole bunch, hundreds of hours. One of our favorite games of the last decade. I remember maybe 3 monster names. And the only reason why I only remember those names is because we said them like, is the engineer?
It's the engineer.
Nerd gigante. Like, because of that. Other than those 3, and Betelgeuse. Because
Betelgeuse, motherfucker.
Yeah, because it has a badass name.
Because he's annoying. That's why I remember him. Fucking Betelgeuse.
And he's annoying.
But
other than that, I don't remember the rest of them. Like, if you tell me the name of another one, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that one. But for some reason, when it comes to video game memory, it has an expiration date for me. And it sucks because I wish I had a better memory when it comes to games, because, when we have discussions about older games, I would be able to better articulate, my love for older games. Like, I remember we had a conversation not too long ago when we were asked favorite Kojima game.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 4 was my favorite game. I remember like 3 things about it.
Damn.
And I beat the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. And it sucks. It's not intentional. I don't know if it's because I don't love video games as much as you guys do, or something else, but it sucks. I wish
Yeah.
it wasn't the case.
Yeah, no, again, I don't have that problem. I like if it was a game I played a lot and just left a mark on me, like I remember everything. Obviously, like 90% of the shit I say on here is off the top of my head, and most of it is pretty accurate. But then I think other things suffer, like things that I probably should remember, like people's names and shit. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, like you know how many times, bro? Like, actually, I'm even getting to a point where I'm forgetting faces, man. Like, I'll go to like an event and shit. This is my line now when I go to an event. When I meet somebody, hey, it's nice to see you, because there's a good chance I've met them. So if I say nice to meet you, they'll be like, wait, we met already. Because I'm like, I don't fucking know if I met you or not, Yeah. Or even worse, like sometimes people ask me, what is your what is the one piece you've written that you're most proud of? I'm like, I don't fucking know. like it's in out one ear out another. I remember the other day I wrote a preview for Resident Evil 9, and I said this is not my favorite game, my most anticipated game of 2026. And then my boss was like, "You sure about that? Isn't it GTA 6?" I'm like, "Why? Why would it be GTA 6?" And I looked it up. I wrote that fucking article. GTA 6 is my most anticipated game. Completely forgot. Yet I still remembered in dumb shit. I could recall to you every single member of Black Sabbath, but I don't know what the fuck I had for dinner tonight. It's just weird how it works. But video game shit and metal stuff, fucking nerdy shit, I remember that instantly. I don't forget any of that. The stuff I forget is probably more practical things like, what game did you review? I don't fucking know if I reviewed it. Oh, I guess I did. And then I read my review, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I did write that. That looks like my writing. It's so weird, So I think it's just the way your brain works. Because that feeling that you have when you're like, why don't I remember shit? I have it for my own writing. I'm like, I don't remember writing that shit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. And like, I don't know if you guys are the same with this, but like for me, every trip I've ever taken, I have it perfectly 3D mapped in my brain. Like every single thing that I've done.
See, me, that's another thing. I'm like, there's times where I'm like, yo, you've been here. I'm like, I don't remember fucking going there. Like trips are another thing that just leave my head,
I recall.
What happened, Brett?
Do you ever, so like, since you remember like things that you watch, do you ever have the problem where you're telling somebody about a movie and they're like, yeah, I went to that movie and saw it with you?
Oh yeah, that's happened to me where it's like I forget who I went to the movies with. Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah, you forget the whole context around the movie. You're just like, I remember I saw that movie.
Yes.
You're like, but you don't remember anything else about it.
Yes. That I'm not gonna say it happens often, but that's absolutely happened to me. Where it's like you think you put the events of one movie for another movie, like the context around it. Yes, I've had that happen to me for sure. But yeah, Carlos, again, since I take so many business trips, usually to the same places, like all my E3 trips are just all the fucking same, it's all just meld together. And also got to remember when I go on trips, especially for me, for you, it may not be the same. I'm fucking sleep deprived half the time,
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm working and shit. The thing I remember most from trips is being in the hotel writing. That's what I remember, writing stories and shit. But I also show you, but then again, at the same time, Carlos, the few times I've gone for fun, like New Orleans, I remember that shit, brother. I remember that shit very well. Or when I went to Vegas for Danny's wedding, I remember that shit well. Yet when I went to Vegas for CES this year, I'm like, like I don't fucking remember because I'm sleep deprived and I'm just thinking about work. Yeah, at Torrance. Yeah, that was good times, man. By the way, a quick aside, but I could say this because running on time here. So Reggie asked me, if I cried when I played Metal Gear, Delta, and I said, bro, I haven't cried since I was a teenager, bro. You got to chill with that. And I'm like, wait, that's not true. Because whenever I'm around Torrance, those tears are flowing, son. Torrance cracks me the fuck up. You know, like you want to get Tony crying, get him with Torrance, man. You're gonna see them tears flowing. You know. Anyway, does anybody else have bad or good memory of gaming recall? What I'm looking at you, Brian. You've been quiet. I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Eurocop makes a very good point, and and I'm trying to think about it, and I think it's selective because there are plenty of games that I can like remember lots of story beats for, like beat for beat, and tell you like weird things about it. For example, Infamous 1, like my favorite mission was I never remember her name, but the part where you have to save the girlfriend from one of the two towers, and the twist that ensues from that. I remember that so well. Even remember the first mission where you need to go to the place, get the supplies, and then that's where you make your first moral choice. So that stuff I can remember really well. But then there's other games that I know I played because I see that I have the platinum trophy, but I really don't remember anything about it. For example, Dark Void. Most people don't even know that what that game even is. It was a Capcom Uncharted game with
Nolan North.
Ironically. And UFOs. Again, got a platinum in that. Can't tell you what the story is. Don't remember. So I think it's a selection thing based on how much you enjoyed the game, because that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's interesting. Well, because I can recall, memory moments of a lot of games, but I can't fill, the in betweens a lot, and mostly the in betweens is most of the game. So yeah, I don't know where maybe Brian, you fall in between me and Tony, because Tony, it seems like he recalls everything.
Yeah, no, if it's a game I really like, but like I'm thinking about Mass Effect, like most of the in-between moments, I remember all that shit where I'm just going around the ship, talking to people, adjusting my weapons, going on side missions. All this shit is just flooding back to me right now, Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, for example, like I mentioned Mass Effect 2, or like Eurocore mentioned, and we agree. Mass Effect 2 is permalocked in our top 5 of all time.
Oh yeah.
I've played it multiple times. I can't remember what I did for the loyalty missions.
Oh wow!
I know I did them. I know I did all of them. I know I saved everyone from the ship at the end. Well, not the first try. The second time I played it through, I saved everyone. But I don't remember what the loyalty missions were.
Let's see if I
just remember
them.
Garrus's one. Yeah, the Garrus one, which I vaguely remember because it's probably one of the most memorable ones. But And what's homegirl's name? The
Jack?
Alien chick.
No, you mean well, there's Samara, right? The other Asari, you're talking about her. Or
the one with the helmet.
Or what's her face? Tali. There's
Tali,
a lot of characters in that game. Yeah. The one
you see your picture at the end.
Yeah, that's right. I remember most of them. Actually, I probably do remember all of them, but for some reason, the one that sticks out to me the most is Jacob's loyalty mission. Not for two reasons. One, it's just really haunting what happens. Like the mission is you go to find his crew, and like basically his old captain killed all the males and turned all the females into his harem, because like they were just like, oh, we're stuck on this planet. That's what we had to do. But I just remember the name of the ship, the Hugo Gernsback, because Hugo Gernsback was like an editor of like sci-fi magazines. And that name always stuck to me, like, oh yeah, the Hugo Gernsback. I remember that. Like I learned about Hugo Gernsback from that mission. I was like, what is the Hugo Gernsback? What the fuck is that? Turns out it's a guy, that was an editor of science fiction pulp stories. But the mission itself is dope. It's like, oh, yo, you did some crazy shit on this planet, bro. This is nuts.
And this type of stuff makes me want to replay the game again.
Yeah, but Carlos, here's the thing. You got to look at the silver lining, because you don't remember it well. When you played, you'll be like, oh, fuck, this is good.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I know these things, these memories are in the recess of my brain.
Yeah.
So when it hits again and it clicks and triggers that memory, I'm like, oh, like it kind of feels like you're experiencing it for the first time, but not really, but kind of. which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember when I was playing Metal Gear Delta, like I got to the part where like near, kind of near the end, right before you face the boss, and I'm like, wait, why don't? Because it's funny. It's like there may be times where I don't remember exactly why something happened, but the feeling is there, right? So I'm getting to this part. I'm like, why am I getting this feeling that I'm not gonna like what's gonna happen? And then because basically the mission right before the boss is you're escorting Eva through a forest while a bunch of dudes are chasing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. It's a fucking escort mission. I hate this shit, And I didn't have the patience because what you're really supposed to do is like kind of take Eva to like these like tree trunks and shit where you could kind of hide inside of them while the patrols go past you. That's what you're supposed to do. I didn't do that, so I didn't have patience for it. I just escorted her, and then as soon as a new patrol would come by, we just mow them all down. Like when you beat the game, you know how you get all your statistics. That I killed 165 people. I went ham.
Damn.
But stuff like that. I'm like, wait, why am I getting this feeling that I'm not gonna like what's about to happen? It's like, oh, that's why. So even if my memory doesn't remember, the feeling will still be there. Or it's like, oh wait. Actually, no. If it's something dope, I will remember what it is. But sometimes like, wait, why don't I like this on the gameplay standpoint? Oh, that's why. But yeah, good stuff there. And then the last question of the night, also from Eurocar, prediction time. What price will the PS6 and the next Series Xbox? What will they be considering where we are now? Now, obviously, if you guys have heard the show, I've always said, a console that costs more than $500 wouldn't sell. Then the PS5 came out, and now we got the fucking PS5 Pro that's $750. Now I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna just throw this number out there. Just not even educated. I'm just throwing it out there. $899. I think we're getting there, people.
Wait, for one or for both?
Both.
In terms of Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, because the Xbox is supposed to be more like a PC. I'm going to go $899 for the PlayStation and $10.99 for the Xbox. Now, you might say to yourself, fuck, Xbox is expensive. That's a really cheap PC.
We were having conversations earlier on the Discord, and this week for the most part, about how a mid-tier PC these days costs close to $2,000. I mean, the tax is $2,000.
Yes, absolutely,
and 5 years ago, $2,000 would get you a low high-end PC, like a 3080 type PC build. So yeah, the PS5 or the PS6, I agree with Tony. It's going to be around $799, $899, that price point. The Xbox is definitely going to be over $1,000 because what they're doing, they're going to do a PC, and we got the insight from AMD how they're making both the CPU and GPU for it. They didn't say it explicitly, but they said they're working with Radeon and they're working with what's it called, the Ryzen. Like the CPU, so it's like
it's a combination of both. Because and again, forgive me, because I'm even though this is what I do for a living. When it comes to AMD, I always get their shit mixed up. Ryzen is the CPU and Radeon is the GPU.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yes. So that's sort of for me the dead giveaway of why you don't mention both of them if you're not separating both. Or because previously it was just a system on chip and they didn't both on the same thing. So I think that's what they're doing, and the whole thing, and obviously it's tied in back into the Xbox ROG Ally, where they're doing their own operating system with Windows, their special version of Windows, where they're getting rid of the fluff to make it viable, and you're gonna have your Steam library, you're gonna have Epic Launcher, Battle.net, and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure, and I think I mentioned this in a previous show, this is what they're going to use for the new system. They want to do a PC where you can play your games and have a sort of a quasi console type experience, but you can also use it as a regular Windows PC where you can stream games, where you can, I don't know, video editing or do whatever you want to do your normal PC stuff for, all in one. And that's going to be their whole shtick. And that's how they kind of bow out of the console market, but kind of releasing a console. It's going to be interesting, but I feel like that's the way Microsoft is going to move forward. They don't want to compete in the console space directly with Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, but they want to release something on their own, like a PC, and be like, this is the most efficient and cost-effective PC you can get in the market. If it's only like $10.99 or $11.99 or whatever that price would be at that time.
Yeah.
I feel like they're still going to try and stay under 1,000 now.
You think so? So $9.99?
I think they'll probably still come in with a couple SKUs, which I don't know how I feel about, but like I feel like an $8.99 and a $9.99, or even a $7.99 and a $9.99 kind of thing. Just one will get you in the door, the other will get you high performance. Like I have no problem with iterations, but like they can't have one that's holding things back. Like they have to have a medium and a high, not a medium and a low. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mean like the Series consoles?
Yeah. But except for it's like a Series S, which is a low version, and the Series X, which is a regular version. It should be like the X and a Pro X. Which should be like the kind of iteration. Like the entry level should get you things that don't hold the entire fucking industry back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. So like you should get a competitive thing for the entry level price. And so maybe it's just the entry level one will be under 1,000 and then whatever. But I think because even just the sticker shock of like $500-600 going up to 800, I think that's going to be enough for a lot of people, and they're not going to want to shock people. So,
Mr. Murdoch,
yes, sir.
Can I rebut, or
you may
kind of rebut, but agree with your point in a way?
Oh yeah, even more enthusiastically, yes.
Okay, the entry level system is already $8.99. That's the ROG Ally X, ROG Xbox Ally X.
That's not remember, that's not official yet for ROG Ally.
I confirmed this months ago.
Okay,
right?
yeah. Remember, entry level is $5.99. The high end is $8.99.
Oh no! What I'm saying is, like, because Brett's talking about an entry level Xbox, right, in the next generation, that's going to be $8.99, more manageable price for the consumer, and then they'll do the more costlier SKUs. But what I'm saying is, when it comes time to release those consoles, the entry level is going to be the Xbox ROG Ally X, which will be around $8.99.
I got you. Yeah, what do you think about that, Brett?
I think memory brings up a good point. I'm trying to think of consoles in relation to their handheld counterparts and the price differentiation we've historically seen here. I think he's right.
Do you think that's viable now? Because it's like these handhelds are basically mini PCs,
If all was fair and just in the world, yes. We're getting into like very, very small custom chipsets. So I don't know. I feel like some of the prices of these handheld PCs are a little out of control. For what you're getting. But that's just me. Comparatively, when you're like, because I'm going to compare them to a laptop, right? Like of equal specs. Mm-hmm. So I don't find their value that incredibly fantastic. No. I feel like no matter how you cut it, money is tight right now. Like people, like it's kind of the same reason. Like I'd love to raise my tattoo prices, but like people have they're having trouble right now. And I think that anybody able to read the market is going to realize that I don't think you can get away with the gigantic price tags, because one of the reasons that the market for PCs is so artificially inflated is because you can do a lot of crypto mining on the backs of them. So unless they find a way to jailbreak and use these consoles for crypto mining, which wouldn't be a bad idea, then I don't think the price is going to get hiked up. I was very interested when I saw the difference between gaming PCs and gaming laptops, because even when you part out a gaming PC, since they're starting to mine crypto with GPU instead of CPU, a lot of the gaming stuff is also crypto mining stuff. Until you get to laptops, where it's kind of a more dedicated built-in chipset, and then you're not having that risk. So like people can't hook up like 9 GPUs, they'd have to hook up 9 laptops. They don't want to do that. It's not worth the trouble. So you actually get more power at a lower price point for laptops right now as compared to traditional gaming PCs, which is a fucked up place to be. And it's only because a thing that literally generates money is built off the back of this. So of course people are willing to spend $2,000 to get the thing that mines crypto better. That's an investment, but to the gamer, like they're trying to use that same card to fucking game, and that's why everything is so ridiculously inflated. But I'm telling you, the differentiation. Look it up yourself. The differentiation between what you get per dollar on a laptop versus like a desktop that you would build with the GPU, because most of that's going into the GPU, I'll be honest, and a workhorse power supply if you're going to be running a lot of stuff. But it's the laptops that I got, I could not get the same power. Like even though I had what was it, a 4070? Even though I have a 4070, it's not like a desktop's 4070, right?
No.
It's closer to
They're all
4060.
yeah. I'm glad you bring that up because people think like, oh, it's the same. No, it's not. Laptop GPU is very different than a proper desktop GPU. So I'm glad you bring
Yes,
that
and
up.
a rule of thumb to go by is go down one model. So since I have a 4070 laptop, it's more like a 4060 desktop.
Yeah, but one thing,
Which is fine.
yeah, one thing I do want to make clear right now, handhelds are $899. So you think in 2 years they won't go up even more? I think they will.
Oh no, I think they will, but like, I think you're
consoles
getting a
will
lot
too.
of stuff that's. Yeah, I think so too. But like, technology miniaturization is expensive, right? So like, it depends. Like, are you willing to have something that's the size of 2 bread boxes be your console? Because if so, it's going to be a lot easier to if it's the size of a PC, it's going to be a lot cheaper to manage, a lot more off the shelf parts that you can use. So I'll be really interested. I mean, the fucking PS5 is gigantic. It's the biggest goddamn console I've ever seen. So
Yeah, huge.
I think a big cost of like a lot of the things like the ROG Ally is the kind of cost of miniaturization, trying to get that high tech power into that tiny small frame, and you just get diminishing returns.
I got if we ran out of the question, I got a question for Brett.
Well, I want to hear Brian and Rich's thoughts on this one. Brian, what do you think about the console prices? What do you think they're going to be?
See, the thing is, I really want Tony to be wrong, but I
So do
can't
I.
think of why you are wrong, which is frustrating. So I would really like them just to be plain and simple. Well, Jesus Christ, I'm actually saying this. Plain and simple and be $4.99. But I really don't think that's in the ballpark anymore. So I can easily see them being $6.99, maybe even $7.99 if they're pushing it. Yeah.
I don't see the PS6 costing less than the PS5 Pro. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's going to be a very hard push if that is the case. So yeah, I think these consoles will easily go up to 700-800, maybe even 900, and that's a sad state. Again, even if we look at the price of PC hardware, I'm just perplexed at how much that just costs these days. I mean, what, the 5090 is like 2,500?
Yeah.
It's like, what? You know, like I remember, like I think it was when I think the 690, not the 6090, the 690, way
690.
back when that was like
GTA.
$600, and everyone was like, wow, that cost expensive. Now you'd be lucky to get anything decent for that price point. So I can see consoles also going down the same route, and it's depressing, because what makes it even worse is, again, as Tony's been saying, and I've been saying this for a bit longer, that these consoles are just getting worse and worse in terms of the games they have. So how are you going to justify $700 for what, PS5 remasters?
Fuck.
Yeah, and then whatever Xbox is throwing out. Which again, I can't make a joke about that, because I honestly have no idea, since most stuff they throw out doesn't even come out. So, what, Elder Scrolls 6 remaster? I don't know.
I don't think they're throwing out. I think they're throwing in. I think they're throwing in as the towel.
Throwing in the towel. Oh,
It's like,
man.
fuck it, we give up. We'll just be like a vessel for Steam. That's fine.
Damn, man.
Brian, I completely agree, and I don't know who's been championing the games on consoles have been been withering more, but the PS6 is gonna be the first generation where I'm gonna be like, am I gonna get it day one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
Honestly, what's weird is, like, if either console had Steam on it, I'd get it day one. Because then at least I know it's got support. So, like, while I made it, like, and I don't mean this as like an Xbox fan, although, like, honestly, 100% transparency with you guys, y'all know I've been kind of converted over the last few years, right? Like, my primary has definitely become my Xbox, but like, if they come out and they're like, yeah, Steam is going to be on this Xbox, so you get Game Pass and Steam, I'm like, cool, done. If it's decent specs, if it runs, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, cool. That's all I need, because a lot of games not only have cross saves across platforms, but if it's got Steam on it, you can. I mean, pretty much anywhere I go. I've got Xbox on my PC, and I've got PC on my Xbox. It's boom, done. Like, you don't even have to sell me on anything, just because I know I just need access to Steam, which seems to be the only place that isn't dying anymore. The one problem that you'd have with that, and actually, no, that might be solved, would be the problem with Steam games not being optimized on release, because they would probably be optimized for whatever console they're going to be on, the same way they are with Steam Deck. So I started to make a point and then instantly refuted myself. I'll see myself out.
By the way, I want to read what Barry Burns says. If I'm going to pay close to $1,000 for a next-gen console, it sure as hell better have a feature that keeps my food warm while I played. Hashtag KFC console. There we go.
There you go.
Bro,
oh, man.
I don't know if you know this, but you could just put food behind or above the exhaust fan of your preferred console of choice, and it will keep your chicken warm.
Sounds like somebody's tried that.
No, I've just felt the back of the console, like the space behind the console after a gaming session. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that'll keep your food warm. Yeah. Rich, you have any thoughts on how much consoles are going to cost next gen?
Yeah, this was a rather interesting question by what's this guy's name? Eurocar?
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Nine, got to get
There,
that.
there
one.
it is.
Not
yeah,
8 or 10, 9,
We got it. So first and foremost, for Xbox, my thing is this. You guys are talking about the next Xbox console, which you also said is going to be a PC. I feel that Xbox is going to market this as a PC, saying you can do other stuff on this device. I expect Microsoft 365 them to talk about, yeah, you can use all these programs and stuff on the same system. And they may also mention about the fact that this can be mobile too, because it really depends on how the ROG Ally does. But in terms of the pricing, yeah, it could be 1,000. I think maybe around 800 or so, 850. Because I mean, I kind of feel like if you're telling people $1,000, you have to offer a lot. Now, if they're offering top of the line graphics, all this other stuff, then I guess it is justifiable. But I also want to mention when they released the Xbox Series X, they also had an S version. So they have to have two versions, I would imagine, if they are going to do this. A lower tier and then the high end tier, such as, you know, stuff like what Apple does. So it could definitely be higher than 1,000. But if that Xbox is higher than 1,000, I'm expecting that to be the highest of the high. So we'll wait and see. As for PlayStation 6, I have a controversial opinion on this. I think Sony knows that obviously PlayStation is number one. They will be taking advantage of that as they will continue to. When the PlayStation 5 launched, it was $500. Okay. Obviously, yes, as Tony mentioned, the Pro drop, people were willing to spend all that money. I think when this other system drops, I personally think it has to be around 700 or 750 because you have to also factor into what game are they going to include in this. If the game is $70, unless they are going to increase the price of that, then yeah, it maybe can go up to 100. But I feel like they can't really go too high because even with the price hikes that have happened recently, it's a $50 price increase. So I feel like, yeah, even though the Pro came out, and of course they will have a Pro version of PlayStation 6 if.
Yeah, they will.
But I feel like they have to keep it somewhat reasonable and not just go completely crazy because it is obviously working for them. So I think 750, maybe 750. I personally, if I was Sony, because it sounds cool, even though it may be a dumb decision, get yourself a PlayStation 6 for $600. No way in hell they're going to do that, but that sounds pretty creative, I would say.
Yeah.
But no, definitely more than 600. I think 750. That's what my guess is.
Make it the PS6 for $600 on 6/6/26.
There you go. You know. Hopefully, parents groups won't think that's too satanic. You know. There you go. Yeah, 666. Oh man. All right, Carlos. You said you had another question.
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Brett.
Actually, wait. Excuse me. You have a question because you didn't ask any questions. It was Eurocard, different guy. You know.
Yes, we usually get confused with each other. Brett, I know you weren't hot on the idea of the ROG Ally, Xbox Ally X, or whichever one to start with. Do you feel different now, especially considering, like you mentioned that you like the idea of having both Xbox and Steam libraries and other type of launchers available? Have you changed your mind on that?
No, because it seems so prohibitively expensive for what you're getting, and I'm big on value point for power, and so like I don't know, man. At that point, like a laptop seems a better choice in a lot of scenarios. I like the idea. I love my Steam Deck. I think Steam Deck definitely hits the sweet spot. I feel like when Steam Deck 2 comes out, I'll probably be on board for that. But yeah, that's a lot of money to spend. And like I do like it being officially like Steam connected and Steam licensed just because I feel like it makes like Valve has a very good reputation of making sure their shit works. Right, like things are going to work on Proton if they say it's going to work. So It just seems like a Steam streaming. I know Sunshine Moonshine is like supposedly a little bit better, but um, like Steam Link just works pretty well for most games. So I find confidence in Steam. I don't know that I find confidence in the ROG brand. Microsoft certainly doesn't bring that confidence. Their Steam would be the one bring the confidence in the Microsoft Steam relationship. Um, so yeah, I like the idea, but I'd like it better in a console, especially if you could keep it around a similar price. Like I'd probably pay that much for a console that does the same thing.
Yeah.
Fair point.
By the way, I know the question was for Brett, but I want to answer.
Yes.
It's not allowed. Sorry.
Yeah. Because remember, obviously I was extremely skeptical about this thing when it was first announced. I'm like, okay, it's just an ROG Ally with Xbox branding. Like, it's still fucking Windows. Like, who gives a shit? But now that we know that it's going to have a modified version of Windows that, doesn't, take up so much tasks in the background and all that, basically a lighter version of Windows. If that is the case, that actually does get me, like, I'm not going to say excited, but even though I wrote that as my headline for this thing, but, it's like, oh, wait, hold on here.
Optimistic.
Yeah, basically, this is the headline for my article I went up over the weekend. I was skeptical about the ROG Xbox Ally, but this one feature has me excited. Yeah, it's that stripped down version of Windows, because the thing is, and you know me, I'm a Steam OS stan. Love Steam OS. I think that is the magic OS for handhelds, right? But it is, limited compared to Windows, right? But the thing is, obviously, Windows, you have a lot more shit to deal with. But if you could have a stripped down version of it, you could basically have if you could have a UI that's as streamlined and user friendly as Steam OS, but with the customization of Windows, that's fucking huge, man, for handhelds. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be running out to buy day one, but I think that is a game changer, because it would be very hypocritical of me to have yelled about Windows 11 sucking for handhelds, and now we're getting a stripped down version, and I wouldn't be excited about that. I think that's cool. We'll have to see, obviously, because think about it. Like I said this in my article too, we may still have to go through the whole, you got to install Windows the regular way, and, have to decline free offers for Office 365 and shit like that. But if I never have to see the Windows desktop again after launch, I think that's good, and obviously, if the stripped down version, like, not only, like, gives you better battery life, but better performance and shit, that'll be great. And I've mentioned this before. My manager, Jason, he actually removed Windows 11 from the ROG Ally X, installed Steam OS, and he saw performance and battery life go up by 25%. It just proves that Windows 11 is a fucking problem. So if you have a lighter version of it, I think that's good. I think we're heading in the right direction. But at the same time, what Brett said about, you getting more value from a laptop is absolutely true. So if you're buying systems that cost the same, like, the only thing this would have over a laptop, then again, I mean, laptops, you could take them out too. So, I personally would pick up a laptop over a handheld, but if you just want a pure handheld with no BS, this might be it. But I really need to see that their version of Windows 11 for myself.
They're both. I mean, the laptop and the handheld are both definitely viable for rooftop parties for sure. The whole thing. Here's the thing with me, man. I'm like Tony. I was really torn. The ROG Ally X has always been something that was enticing to me, except the Windows portion of it.
Yeah.
Now they did two things with the Xbox Ally that I'm really, really enticed with. Number one, like Tony mentioned, is the stripped down version of Windows where games get to run natively, and you don't have to mess with the fluff of Windows and all the headaches and the overhead that provides. And number two is the freaking controller. The controller, the pad as a controller. That is a game changer for me. I have issues with especially with the Switch. The Switch 2, even though it's improved, I still have some issues with the ergonomics of that controller. The Steam Deck, even though it's like 80% the way there to being great, I still have issues with the way that the joysticks are kind of aligned all the way to the top, which to me doesn't make sense. Either you make them like the DualShock or the DualSense, where they're both all the way down, or you do the change where one of the Xbox version where one is up and the other one's down, but you can't make them both all the way to the top of the system. So that's where, and like I mentioned in the previous episode, I got the PS Portal, and it just felt right. Granted, it had mosquito bites as freaking thumbsticks, but other than that, it felt great. Like, it felt comfortable. It's just something that I felt familiar with. And with the ROG Ally, the Xbox One, they're essentially doing that. So I'm really torn, man, because I really want it, but it is expensive. $899. I know it's still not confirmed yet from Xbox or Asus.
Man, that's the high end one. But
yeah, that's because that's my default.
There you go, man.
If it is anywhere within that ballpark, it's a tough pill to swallow, man. It is tough. That's a lot of money, man. A lot.
Yeah, but this is what the consoles are going to cost now, man. Get ready. Sucks, man. All right, we are done here. Good stuff. Let's plug some stuff. Rich, what do you got coming up on the Coalition this week?
Oh, yeah. So first and foremost, give a shout out to Mr. Gary A. Swaby, because he reviewed Metal Gear Solid Delta. Definitely check out that review.
Fantastic
on the Coalition.
Review.
Yes, I agree 100%. Check out the written review and check out the video review on the Coalition Gaming. Shout out to everybody that's checked out the video so far. I see it's doing pretty well. As for other stuff coming, yes, there are a couple of reviews that I'm working on that are going to be dropping this week. One of those reviews is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, so stay tuned for that. The other review is Gears of War Reloaded, so stay tuned for that. And as for the rest of the week, I'm actually going to PAX West on Thursday night, so I probably may not be on the show.
Yeah.
But believe me, I will have a lot to say when I get back, because I have a lot of things that I will be checking out. So I would highly encourage you all, stay tuned to thecoalition.com as well as the Coalition Gaming, because there's a couple of things that will be coming on that platform. So, but yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and so you're now able to say you've reviewed Shinobi?
Oh yeah, I cannot say when the review is coming. I just saying that it's coming this week.
Okay. So since you're able to say that, I can say I have also played the game, and you could hear my thoughts later this week. I'm not going to tell you what I thought right now, obviously, because under embargo, but I have played the game, and you'll hear my thoughts next week as well. What's the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, shout out to Gary, man. Awesome review there. I still got to check out the video review, but with Gary, it's like for me, it's all about Gary's words, man. He's such a great writer, Always enjoy Gary's stuff. And this is not exactly a plug, but I'm doing Riku a favor. If you're a fan of Riku Sun one of the founders of Throwdown, please do him a favor and go download the Trails in the Sky first chapter demo that's available on, I'm assuming, all platforms that the game is available on. I'm playing on PS5, but I'm assuming, then again, Xbox guys aren't playing that shit. Download it on PS5. There you go. Let's just be real here with our audience, Very interesting demo, I'll have to say that. So yeah, do Riku a favor, man. He's been trying to get everybody into this franchise for years, and he believes this is it. This is it. This is the one.
It's the one.
So do Riku that favor, man. All right, man. So we're out of here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord and check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Carlos Romero,
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch,
It's been real.
Richard Bailey Jr.,
Have a good week, everybody.
and Brian Manjoma.
Larry people.
All right, guys, we'll be back on Thursday. Peace.
Deuces.